Yes, Mr. President. I'm sorry, there is, I think that there is a global problem with the internet because of everyone is using internet connections and the meeting is via internet.
Let's try. Let's do whatever we can.
Definitely. But what do you mean? I mean, the lack of the leadership during the pandemic situation. And we have seen so many attacks towards the World Health Organization because World Health Organization is a major institution which is should be in charge of the healthcare issue in the globally. But how it's possible, learning lessons from the history?
I am very much surprised that United States especially attacked so strongly the World Health Organization in the middle of the pandemic, which is, I think, really wrong approach, definitely wrong approach. And as I said at the beginning, in the first answer of the first of your question, I really believe that we need multilateral approach. And if any, then we really now have to support the World Health Organization in order to collect all the data from the different countries, in order to have the common approach, because this is the only way to solve the current situation and to solve the current problem. I really believe that it's unrealistic to expect that countries separately are able to solve this problem. And I really believe that, okay, if that is approach of the United States, then the other countries have now much more stronger support the World Health Organization. And there's definitely approach of the politicians, which is wrong. I don't care about the big issues. I care about my position. And if it's useful for me to be re-elected, I will be tough. And that's wrong. I really believe that's wrong. That can be useful in a short term, but in long term, this is a very wrong approach.
Mr. President, what do you think about the last statement of the European Union leaders, Chancellor Angela Merkel and President Macron and Prime Minister of Italy and President of the European Commission about coming up with a solid fund in supporting of COVID-19 research issues? But is European Union incapacity alone to be able to fight with the COVID, taking into consideration that there is a big problem which is coming with Africa region, that we are not sure that how many affected people we have in Africa?
European Union definitely is a very significant player in all these games. Why? Because by definition, the European Union is multilateral institution. And if multilateralism will be eliminated like a main approach in this fight, then in long term, European Union doesn't have any future, because that will continue then. And because of that, I really find very significant that they decided to support this fight and all these researches. Are they able to do it on their own? I'm really not so sure. Yes, European Union is a very strong player, very strong entity, globally speaking. But definitely there is a need for some others. And if the United States will be out for some time at least, then there is a need for the European Union to cooperate in this fight, regardless of all these big political differences between the European Union, China, European Union, Russia, European Union, I don't know, Brazil or some others. They have to be together. And I agree with you, they have to be prepared, especially for the Africa and especially for the next few months, because Africa doesn't have resources to fight against that. And this virus cannot be isolated in one part and then somebody can say, I don't care what will happen in Africa. What will happen in Africa will have consequences also later in the rest of the world. And for me, it's a very significant approach of the European Union, but they have to make a step more further. They have to find the others who are ready to cooperate together in this fight.
That's so true. Like about because United States of America withdrew itself like from all the aspects, and they are from multilateralism. They just withdrew themselves like to be alone and self-isolated with the things. But they are also in the same time demanding European Union to fight with China, despite taking the considerations that China is the first country where pandemic started, and China has an experience with the SARS and different other pandemics. And how it's possible, like, during these circumstances, international community can survive, or international community can create a collaboration.
As I said, that's the big challenge. If the United States are out, and they are out not only from the World Health Organization, they're out of some other multilateral institutions, because they believe that they are too bureaucratic, or at least this is their explanation. But European Union is now a key. And for the long-term future of international relations, it's very significant that this approach by the United States, according to my opinion, has to be somehow isolated. If that continues, there is no now international order, then there will be nothing. There will be no rules which are acceptable for the whole world. What then? What we can expect, not only in this fight against the coronavirus, but let's say in the basic political issues. Where is the institution who will put at least the legal framework, how the countries will behave? What are the rules? That's extremely important. If we are going in that direction, then we are going in some sort, maybe it's too strong to say so, but this is some sort of the anarchy at the state, at the global level. And then we will have a few groups, or at least two groups. One group, the big players who will behave on their own. They will do whatever they want. And then small countries which will be not so strong that they can do what they want. So I think that this is a really essential. And coronavirus didn't cause all these discussions, but coronavirus provoked these discussions, and it was a signal that something has to be done, which will have a long-term consequences, new rules. And I really believe that without the multilateral approach, without some sort of the globalization, not in a negative sense, but some sort of the common rules at the global level is essential. Then the question is, what is the future of the free market economy? If there will be separate markets, then there is no free market economy, and that is a key also. And then there is also a lot of legal challenges which we can see now, and this is something which is essential.
Mr. President, we are talking like about multilateralism, but today what we see is that majority of expenses of every state, including Azerbaijan and US and Bosnia and Herzegovina and so on, goes more to military than goes to healthcare issue. And what COVID showed us that COVID is a new street towards humanity, and it's that we have to pay more attention towards healthcare issues. But at the end, what we saw that the best countries, like everyone was trying to run to Switzerland, Germany, and UK, and so on, to have a healthcare issue, rehabilitation process. But small countries being able to achieve better results than the bigger countries, like with a big economy and with a bigger healthcare issues. How it was possible, like the small countries could be able to succeed there?
If you have a smaller scale problem, then it's easier to solve that. That's one reason. Another reason is historical development of the healthcare systems. You have different approaches. I think that at least if I take into account the experience of the former Yugoslavia. The former Yugoslavia was relatively successful in that. We have among the lowest number of the people infected with the coronavirus, and then also the lowest number of deaths. What's the reason for that? I have to say, very well organized healthcare system from the past, where the healthcare was a significant part of the social values. And thanks to this experience in the past, we were relatively successful. We see now a fact that the market cannot solve everything. The countries where the healthcare was mainly market-oriented were faced with the problem. The countries where the influence of the state was in this area, especially in the healthcare area, these countries were a little bit more successful, which was a big surprise. Nobody expected that Italy will have a problem with the beds, with the doctors, with so many things. But and that, let's say, not so well organized countries in the Balkans didn't have so much. But there is this experience from the past. The fact that healthcare was very significant in the past, and that we still have a benefit of that time. That's at least my explanation.
Mr. President, the last question, how do you see the era after the pandemic crisis? How we are going to adapt to the new situation because of the less flights, and the governments and countries are more protected, and they're going to be like more restrictions, and how it's going to affect our life and our economy?
I expect that it will be a very difficult time. Unfortunately, I believe that we will have more isolation than social contacts. And we are all the human beings. We need the contacts with the people. We need coffee, to drink coffee with the friends. We need some sort of the common activity. I cannot imagine to live isolated from the rest of the community. And I don't want to live that. It looks for me like a science fiction, something like that. And I hope that either this virus will disappear by itself, or that there is a, I don't know, vaccine or some sort of the solution. Because I cannot adopt myself in my age in this new circumstance, going everywhere with the masks, not having a handshake with the friends, not having a kissing with the relatives, with the families. I simply wouldn't like to live in this sort of the society. And because of that, we need a common effort. Because only together we can solve that problem. Without being together, then we will live something which I don't see like a human. Simply that's more for the machines and not for the human beings.
Yeah, yesterday was a nice interview. Someone was telling that when you are wearing a mask, you can't understand or you can't realize if that person is smiling or crying, or if that person is like, you know, what kind of affection or impression is having. That's definitely, but COVID,
Completely.
it changed us a lot, and I hope that, you know, we will be able to come back to our normal life, because, you know, we have the same traditions. But I'm really so happy that we could be able to support Bosnia and Herzegovina and our government and as an institution, and we will be at your disposal. Anything it may be needed anytime.
And I would also like to thank to Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan was the country among the very few countries who supported the Bosnia and Herzegovina. And you know that we don't have so much resources, and this help was very significant for us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.